I'm Jessica.
And welcome to Cooking with Coastline. In today's episode, we're going to be doing some healthier versions of St. Patty's Day recipes. And no, it's not corned beef and cabbage. We're actually going to be doing an Irish brown bread. Yep. Delicious, delicious. And also a Guinness and beef stew recipe. So really
Let's
excited.
get started.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to be starting off with the Irish brown bread. We have a few dry ingredients here that we're going to be mixing all together in one large bowl. So we're going to be doing 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And then we're going to be mixing in 1.25 cups of whole wheat flour. And we're doing the half and half here instead of doing all white flour, just to give it add a little density, because the whole wheat gives a little denser of the bread, which it's what we're looking for. If you want, you can also do a full white flour, but we're adding the health benefits of doing the whole wheat as well. So we're going to mix some of this together. And then I'm going to be adding 3/4 cup of quick oats.
And for those of you at home who may not have quick oats, this is what I did when I made the recipe. I had just regular oats and I put it in the blender for just a couple of seconds. Quick oats, they cook really fast because they're so tiny as opposed to regular oats. So if you don't have quick oats at home, you can just put it in the blender for a few seconds and then you're good to go.
All right, so then I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of the wheat germ.
And wheat germ is actually really interesting too, Jess. It has 23 different vitamins and minerals in it, which is really, really cool. It's the embryo part of the wheat
stalk.
Yeah, yep. But the only problem with it is that it has a very high oil content, so it can turn rancid very quickly. So make sure that if you do have it at home, you want to put it in the fridge in a seal-tight container.
All right, so I've just added in a teaspoon of salt, and I'm also going to be adding in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So we're going to get that all mixed up, and then we're going to move over to our liquid ingredients.
Cool, and I can keep stirring this for you.
Thank you. Yep. All right, so now we're going to be adding in our butter and honey. Our buttermilk, I should say. Buttermilk, we're going to do 1 3/4 cups. So we're going to add this in here. Yep. And then if you don't have buttermilk in your house, you can actually use regular milk and then add either a teaspoon of vinegar or a teaspoon of lemon juice. And that helps create a buttermilk-like milk, which is pretty interesting.
Nice. You know, because me personally, I can't say that I have a lot of buttermilk in the house.
Yeah, I normally don't have buttermilk
but
either,
you know, sometimes, you know, a lot of us, we can have vinegar or even, you know, some lemon juice.
Yeah, I always have lemon juice in my house.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a really good tip, Jess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So to the buttermilk, we're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of honey. So I'm going to whisk this together, and then we're going to put it all together into the dry mixture.
Yep.
Get this going.
I love honey.
Oh, I know. It's such a great alternative, too, for the sugar. So.
I know. It has a lot of antibacterial properties to it, too.
Oh,
so
good.
it's really good. They even say it can help in wound healing, believe it or not, wound healing. But yeah, no, honey is a great alternative to using sugar. It's still, you know, it still is sugar, so you still want to make sure that you're not adding a whole lot of it, but if I'm using just a plain white granulated sugar versus honey, I prefer to use the honey. And it's local honey too, so feel good about supporting our local farmers as well.
All right, so now that I have all this mixed together, I'm going to actually mix this into the dry ingredients. And if you want to spray the pan, do that, and then we're going to mix this all together. We're going to mix it until we get a soft dough that forms.
Very nice.
So, and then I don't know if you're wondering why we're not using any yeast or anything like that. We're actually, the baking soda and the buttermilk combining actually gives the rising agent in this dish instead of using like a yeast or something like that. So
nice, instead of using baker's yeast.
Yes.
Very, very nice.
So we're starting to get a dough here.
Very cool. So Blizzard of 2015.
Was Was not very fun.
Was not very fun, no, but in the kitchen, it was very fun. My family, you know, we were stuck inside the house. My husband was out shoveling, and so it was nice when he came in, made this really easy bread. It only takes like 20 minutes to cook in the oven, which is so nice and so convenient.
Yes.
And the stew is just nice because you just throw all the ingredients in there and put it in the oven. So it's really, really, it was a fun dish to make, I have to say.
Definitely.
Have to say.
All right, so now I'm going to be throwing down some flour here. We're just going to be making, putting all the dough together. We kind of knead that. So do that.
And so while Jess is doing that, I'm just going to quickly start cutting up a little bit of the celery for our stew over here.
Yes, so we're going to kind of just knead that. And we're going to be, you're going to be making 2 loaves out of this dough. So you're getting a great serving size for,
right? And you know, it's nice. It's nice too, if you don't want to use both loaves, you can just make one and then throw one in the freezer.
Right.
Right? To pull out for whenever you want it. So that's good.
All right, so pretty much have this all together. So now I'm going to separate them in half, and then we're going to make 2 round like dough balls, I guess you would call it.
Nice. Very nice.
To make it into the loaf. And it's okay if you have any extra side ingredients on the side. It doesn't have to all be in there. So we're going to put them on the greased pan about 3 inches apart.
And for some of you, if you want to use a loaf pan, you can. Traditional breads, usually it's just like how Jess did. We just threw it all into a ball, and it cooks. It looks so nice when it's all done, actually.
Yes, so we're going to be putting this into a 425 degree oven. Put that in for about 10 minutes. Once after 10 minutes, then you're going to drop down the temperature to 400 and do another 10 minutes. And then you're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes, and you're going to wait until you can kind of tap the top of it and hear a hollow sound.
Okay.
So we'll be doing that.
Very good. And I think we have one already done, right?
Yes, actually. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished.
So cute.
There you go.
It looks so nice, and it was so easy to make. It was only 20 minutes to make that.
Right.
Okay, so
over here, I was actually just going to toss this around a little bit because we have preheating 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil at the bottom of this pan.
Yep. So while I'm going to be showing you what to do with the meat over here, I'm going to hand this over to Jess if you could start cutting that for me. So what we have over here is just stewed beef, and I cut it into smaller pieces, and you want to make sure that you pat it very lightly just to get off any extra blood that may be at the top. You don't want to press really hard.
Yeah, you don't want to get all those.
If you press really hard, then you get all the juices out, and you really don't want that. I see the smoking, so we're just going to turn this down just a little bit. Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to do over here is that I have my flour. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. Okay. And this is to give the meat a little bit of extra flavor, some fresh cracked pepper. Okay, give that a little stir. Okay. And you can add any other kind of seasonings you want to this. Some people like to do cayenne pepper. You know, it all kind of depends on what you want. I would say go crazy on seasonings, not salt. Just add a little bit of salt. As a dietitian, you know, we're always looking to, you know, try to make things a little bit healthier.
Yeah, on the healthier side.
Yeah. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our meat and put it in here. Okay. We just want to give it a little bit of a coating. Okay. For all of you who may be technical, this is actually called dredging, in case if you're wondering.
A fun fact for the day.
There you go.
I've never heard that.
Impress your friends.
Terminology
I'm dredging
before.
right now. Okay, All right, so you just want a light coating. And so, Jess, if you could just move that back over for me. Maybe give it a little stir of the olive oil. Okay, very good. Okay, and now we're just gonna throw it in the pan. All right, and you wanna make sure that it sears on all 4 sides. Ooh, you can hear it sizzling.
Yeah, already.
Yeah. So the whole point of dredging is to add extra flavor to your meat. Again, you know, so you can use whatever seasonings you like. But once you sear it on all sides, you're getting a nice caramel coloring to it, which is pretty attractive when looking at meat. And not only that, you know, again, it adds a whole lot more flavor to it. So Jess, if you could just keep an eye on that for me.
Yep.
We don't want to cook it all the way through. We just want to, again, you know, make sure that all of those sides get that brown coloring on it.
Yep, so I'm just gonna be flipping them over, and then as soon as they're all set, I'll be flipping on all 4 sides.
Yeah. Okay. I actually went to Ireland 2 years ago, believe it or
really?
not. I did. My family's from there.
Oh, really?
Yes. The wee northern part of Ireland. That's where my family is from.
Did anyone grow up there, or is it they?
Well, actually, my mom was born there, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Yep. She came over to the States when she was really young, and she said she didn't like America because all the kids made fun of her accent.
Aww.
Which I happen to think that children with accents are so adorable,
Yes.
but the kids were not very kind to her, I guess, about her accent. But yeah, no, I went there a couple years ago, and I actually got to tour the Guinness factory, and that was
that must have been
really
very
fun.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm just gonna wash my hands because I've been dealing with raw meat, so food safety, want to make sure that my hands are nice and clean.
Yep, and I'm just still flipping here. We have a bunch of meat in here, so.
Yep. Ooh, it smells good though,
It's
Jess.
delicious.
Doesn't it smell good?
Yes. So what did you think of the Guinness factory?
It was so cool. One thing that stunk though, I was 7 months pregnant.
Oh, so you couldn't sample anything?
I couldn't.
Oh.
I couldn't sample anything. So, but I got to watch
Everyone
other
else
people
do that.
Yeah. So, but no, my family, we had a really great time, learned all kinds of cool facts on Guinness. But no, we did. We had a really good time. There's so much history there.
Oh, definitely. Did you get to see any of the castles or anything like that? Or take any
actually,
tours?
I did. We tried to go to one castle in particular, Carrickfergus Castle, and couldn't go there because they were filming a movie.
Aww.
And they wouldn't let us be extras. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Oh. Have you done any traveling?
Mostly within the United States. At a previous job that I worked at, I built homes for disabled veterans.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I traveled a lot around the country, and especially small random cities that you wouldn't really think to go to. So I think that's really cool. And then other than that, I've been to the Caribbean and Aruba, but I would love to go to Europe someday.
Yeah. Boy, wouldn't we all like to be in the Caribbean now?
I know.
Now that we're in the midst of more snow.
I
Yay.
know.
Okay, very good. How's our meat looking?
Coming along. Probably have one more side left.
Yeah?
But
No, it does. It looks really good. And you see all those brown bits? It's kind of hard to see over here, but all those brown bits on the bottom, those are really important for any extra flavor. So we'll be, once we add all the rest of our ingredients, we want to scrape off those brown bits on the bottom. Okay.
a little bit. All right, so you think I'm ready to take these out?
Yep, yep. So you want to use a slotted spoon, which we have over there. Yep.
Okay.
So nice. And also just another food safety tip that whenever you're working with raw meat, you want to make sure that you use a different cutting board.
Yes.
Because I cut up the raw meat over here. I don't want to cook my fresh vegetables on that same cutting block either. So you just want to make sure, again, that you keep your raw meats and your vegetables or anything else separate from that. Okay. So we're just gonna keep adding, we're gonna keep cutting up our veggies over here.
Can I add in the onions yet?
Absolutely, yep.
Right.
You can add the onions in. I'm almost done with the celery over here.
And we just did about half a large onion. You can kind of do it to taste. If you like onions, you can do a little bit more. If you don't, I think I'm gonna add a little bit more just because we both like onions here. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that's the great thing about soups is that you can add whatever you like to it. If you like a lot of vegetables, you know, you don't have to follow this recipe to the T. If you want to add spinach or, you know, anything else you can think of, you can totally go for it. Me personally, I like to have a lot of vegetables in my stews. Yeah.
Nice and hearty.
Yep.
All right.
All right, I'm going to cut up the carrots. So if you could keep stirring that for me.
So this is the time now that I'm going to be using the bits on the bottom and scraping them up to get extra flavor.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I have my carrots over here. I'm just going to cut these up. And contrary to certain beliefs, it was thought that the tops of carrots were poisonous, but it turns out they're not poisonous. There's a lot of different uses that you can use. When making soups, you can add them into your soup. You can make a salad out of it. There's so many different things that you can do. You can use it as a garnish. And we don't like to waste anything over here, so we want to make sure we're getting all the uses of our carrots here. Okay. You know, and if you don't want to have to deal with the tops of the carrots, you could buy them already with the tops cut up. Yep, yep. Okay.
Soup is starting to smell really good. Just the onions and the celery and then the meat juices from the stew beef. It's already smelling so delicious.
Yep. And
this is such a healthy recipe too. Soups are a great alternative to some of the other more high fat, high calorie meals that you can have. So,
especially soups that have that aren't a cream-based broth. If you think of the word cream, think calories. Cream is high in fat, and you know, you want to try it. Soup, generally speaking, is pretty low in calories. So you just want to be cognizant of that. All right, so I just cut up these carrots here, and I'll add these in as well. Hopefully they don't roll all over the place. Here we go. There we go.
There we go.
And these are all things too that you can get at local farmers markets, you know, especially in the summertime. You know, again, we want to support our farmers, you know. Okay, so we're just going to be cooking that for about another minute or so. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a little bit of garlic to it.
There you go.
Thank you, Jess.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Just to make the smell even better now that we're going to be adding some garlic here.
You can do fresh garlic if you like. Me personally, busy mom, I like having garlic already made for me. Okay. Ooh, that's looking so good and so colorful too. Okay. So, all right, so while Jess is doing that, she wants to do that until the onions get to sweat a little bit, you know, just a little bit see-through.
Yeah, starting a little caramelized.
And looking at it right now, it's looking really good.
Good to go.
Yes, okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to add our Guinness. And believe it or not, there actually are a lot of health benefits to beer. Recommended amounts for men and women, 2 for men and 1 for women. If you go over the amount, so you can't say, oh, beer's really healthy for me, so I'm gonna have 5 today. It doesn't work like that. So the more that you drink, it actually negates the health benefits. So,
I can smell that beer now.
And don't worry, all the alcohol cooks off, so it's kid friendly. Yes. Don't worry, your kids won't be relaxed. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about that.
So you said that it's 1 for women and 2 for men, a beer a day, and it's actually supposed to be kind of like the same benefits of having like a glass of red wine or something like that, would you say? Or?
Well, it's a little different. The health benefits for beer are a little bit different. It's actually good for bone health and bone density.
Oh, wow.
It's high in antioxidants and it's anti-inflammatory because of the hops that are in there. And 2, we're talking about a darker beer here. We're not talking about, you know,
like
your
a
typical,
Bud Light
like a Bud Light or anything like that. No, those are lower in calories. So if you're watching your calories, that could be a good option for you. But as far as health benefits go, the darker the beer, the better it is.
That's interesting. I didn't know about that.
I know you don't really think about beer being
health benefits.
Good
You always
for
think it's
Yeah, exactly. How's that cooking over there?
It's well over here.
It's cooking good?
So
Okay. So what we're going to do, so I'm just cutting up a couple of potatoes here. We chose the smaller ones because they cook faster as opposed to, say, like a baking potato or something like that. It cooks a lot quicker. So, almost done here. And then we're gonna start adding our beef broth. And I chose a low sodium beef broth. Again, you know, that's something that's so great about making your own soup is that you control the ingredients that go inside. A lot of the canned soups that are out there on the market, they're so high in sodium.
Yeah, I was gonna say, watch out for there's lower sodium, but you still have to make sure you check the nutritional facts
Exactly.
to see how much sodium there actually is. It could be less,
Yes.
but it could be less from a lot.
Right,
kind of thing.
exactly, exactly. Okay, so we need 4 cups of beef stock. So if you could just hand me that over there.
All right, I'm just gonna rinse this off
Oh,
really
sure,
quick for you.
thank you.
Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, no, that's okay. And we need 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And they make a no salt added tomato paste, which is nice. A lot of any tomato products out there on the market, they can tend to be really high in sodium too, but you can buy a no salt added or lower sodium paste. So we got that in there.
And there you go for your beef broth.
So we need 4, so if you'd like to do that for me, Jess, so we need 4 cups of beef broth.
Okay.
Well, if you're really advantageous, if you could make your own beef broth. There are people that do that.
Oh,
I have some family members that like to make their own chicken stock or beef broth. They'll make it in large bunches and then put it in the freezer.
Yep.
So whenever they need it, they can just pull it out. So that's
Definitely
really,
a good
really
idea.
nice.
Yep.
But you know, if you're too busy, if you got a lot of stuff going on, you know, using a low sodium beef broth is a good option too. Okay, and so I need 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Okay. There we go. Doesn't really want to come out. Okay.
Well, it's really starting to come together. You can smell all the different flavors now. All the
know.
vegetables and
So good. I'm a little caught here. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna add the potatoes. So just be careful of splattering.
There you go.
And then we're gonna add our beef. We're gonna add our beef in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Very nice. And they also said too that if you want, you can make champ, which is one of my grandmother's favorite recipes to make. And champ is mashed potatoes, green onions, butter, and salt. So
that sounds
again,
good. I've never had it before.
Not so crazy on the butter and the salt, but if you didn't want to add the potatoes into your soup, you could make your mashed potatoes, add all of that in there, put it on the bottom, and then put the stew on top. Isn't that nice?
That sounds
Doesn't that
delicious.
sound
I've never
good?
had that champ before.
Yeah, champ. I'll have to ask my grandma to make you some.
Yes, definitely. That'd be delicious.
And so we're gonna add some fresh thyme in there too.
Okay.
I love the smell of thyme.
Here we go.
Just
bring some of that.
And again, you know, I said that we don't like to waste anything here. So what I'm gonna do is just cut up just a little bit of our carrot green tops. And
They
just
look
use
so
it.
pretty too.
I know. Don't they look
Pretty
nice?
green, yeah.
Bugs would be proud,
Yes,
wouldn't
he would.
He would approve.
Using all of it.
Yeah.
All of
No
the
waste
carrot.
over here. Okay. Boy, that looks so
Look
nice.
how pretty that looks.
So nice. And if you want, you can add some fresh ground pepper to it as well. I like a lot of pepper in mine. Okay.
All right, looks good. So now we're gonna add the top on,
Yep.
and then we're gonna put it in the oven at, we said 275?
275, yep, for about an hour.
All right.
Okay.
Just open that up for me.
Sure.
All right.
All right, perfect. Yep, okay. And
Looks
luckily for us, we don't have to wait an hour. I already made some ahead of
Oh,
time
yes.
for us, so we get to try it.
Yes, and
So
I'm gonna
Jess,
cut
you
up
want to
the,
cut up a little bit of that bread?
yes, let's try it out.
So good. Make sure we turn that off right there. Okay. Again, I love a nice hearty stew in the winter time. So
Yes,
nice.
delicious. A nice bread. Give you a little half there.
Thank you.
Oh,
Love that brown
oh,
color. So
I
nice.
know, I was gonna say, look at that. You can get the picture. There you go.
So nice.
And it's a heavy, dense bread, but it's still
Yeah,
moist too. If
right.
you feel it, it is moist. So
Very,
it's-
very moist. And again, and it only took 20 minutes to bake. How nice is that? So nice. Let's give it a try.
Yes.
So good.
Oh,
Isn't
it's
that
delicious.
Good? Is that good?
Very good.
I'm so proud of myself when I made it. I was like, wow, this really didn't take a lot of time.
Yes.
It's just a little bit of prep work that you have to do, but you have a delicious stew.
Yes.
And two, if you want, which I also did, after I made it, I froze some, because my whole family, we're not gonna eat an entire pile of stew for, if you do, you're gonna be eating it for 5 days, you know,
Right.
but you can freeze it. You can freeze the bread too, right? Because you get 2 loaves. Then you have a delicious meal in case we have another snowstorm.
Yes, it's perfect. It's definitely.
I shouldn't jinx ourselves. I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
don't say that.
I'm
We
so
don't want any more
sorry.
snow. We already have a couple days coming up with snow, so
Oh boy.
not
Okay.
good. Well, if you're interested in learning more about the recipes, make sure you stay tuned at the end of our episode for the recipes. We'll be scrolling at the end of the episode. So we will see you soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Take care, everyone.